Hi there, welcome to Hwyl from home. My name is Miri and I am going to be guiding you through a short but sweet 20-minute move your spine flow. So I've got a couple of bricks with me in the studio. If you don't have these at home, don't worry, you can use books or cushions and they are optional. And we're going to jump straight into some movement. So we're going to start on all fours. So come and join me on your hands and knees and just start to pad around your mat. Just start to sense the ground underneath your foundations. And start to bring a bit of like a bouncy spring into your joints. Just noticing that natural tendency that we have to be slightly in motion, nothing within us rigid or straight lines. And then just start to become aware of how your spine feels. Maybe you've done quite a lot of sitting today in the car or at your laptop. So just starting to bring in some really natural movements, maybe a little sway side to side. And then let's start to move the spine through what we call flexion and extension. So the next time you breathe in, let's drop the belly down. Take that little tilt with the pelvis so the hips rise and peel your chest forwards. On an exhale breath, let's reverse that. Scoop your belly in and up and round your back into a lovely C shape. Let's do one more of those nice and slow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze and the chest. Exhale, round through the back of the body, create that space across the back of the vertebrae. And come back through center. Let's start to move the ribs now in a little circle. So taking it to a little bit more of a lateral movement. I like to imagine that my ribs are like the drum of a washing machine, just circling around, freeing open some space, shifting away any stagnant energy. And maybe reversing the direction of those circles now, taking it around in the other way. Let's take one more here. Let your breath move intuitively with this movement. Gorgeous. And then come back through center. We're going to sit back onto our heels. Slide your hands behind you so they drop just underneath your shoulders, fingers point forwards. Next time you breathe in, let's start to peel the heart forwards. Shoulder blade glide together and down your back. Take that lovely little back bend space across the front of the body, breathing in. And on the exhale, release, let your knees come a little wider apart and then drop forward into Balasana, child's pose. Let's pause here for a moment, let your forehead settle on something. Let's take a fuller, more generous breath into the base of the spine, like a little massage from the inside. Long, smooth exhale. Starting to move through a little flow. We're going to breathe in to round back forward through that C curve into a little tabletop. Let's keep it moving, little rolling cat-cow. Exhale, drop the belly, lift the hips, and let the hips glide you back into that child's pose. Beautiful. Let's do that again, nice and slow with your breath. Inhale, round forwards. Exhale, float back. Let your heart reach forwards into the space. And this time we're going to round forwards in through that C curve into our tabletop. And take a little pause, let your shoulders come a little forwards over your wrists. And in slow motion, we're going to bend our elbows and control our descent all the way to our bellies. Keep the hands where they are. Next breath in, let's peel the heart forwards and open into Cobra. And let's see how it feels to float the hands here. Start to bring a little bit more fire into the back of the body, elbows hugging in towards the ribs. And then let that go. Back towards your heels, find child's pose, little reset. Now, just like we did, let's slide our hands back towards us. Hands come underneath the shoulders. We're going to repeat that flow and add some little bits in. So once again, let's come into that lovely back bend, arching the spine, finding space, draw the shoulder blades together. Now you can stay here. You've got bricks. They might come underneath your hands for this bit. Option to start to lift your hips away from your heels. So finding a little bit of a deepening of that space. Maybe the head drops back. Take a breath. And then slow lower of the hips towards the heels once again. Let's find that child's pose. Glide your body forwards, flop onto the earth. Inhale, we round forwards. Let's find that C curve through the back of the body, following the breath. Exhale back to child's pose, guiding up and back with the hips. One more of those. See if you can find that lovely fluid expression that the spine allows us. Exhale all the way back. Like we did, let's come back up to tabletop pause. And this time as you shift your shoulders over the wrist, ever so slightly different. So as we come to the ground, see if you can just bring your chest and your chin to the earth, but keep your hips lifted. Practicing a little spinal roll. Let's bring attention into the tailbone. Start to initiate the movement from there. Send a ripple all the way up the spine, bringing you into Cobra. And then release, exhale. This time, let's take our hands a little wider, maybe wider than the distance of your mat. And the next breath in, peel yourself off the ground. Let your head be the final point of you to lift. Exhale, slow motion, glide back towards the ground. 2 more of those. Breathing in like your body is stuck to the ground. That slow peel away. Head might be the final part of you to lift. Exhale, come back to the earth. Head might be the final part to come down. Last one, inhale, rises you. Exhale, lowers you. Nice. Next time you land on the earth, let's come back to our child's pose, resetting for a moment. And then again, we slide our hands back towards us, hands under shoulders, fingers forward. So have those bricks handy if they were helpful last time. We're going to come into our back bend once again. So let's start with that hug of the shoulder blades together, that peeling open of the chest. Stay here. Maybe you're lifting hips towards the sky once again. And a final option if you want to, bring weight to your right hand. Take a big circle with that left arm, like a little modified camel shape. And then slowly back down, hips towards the heels, swap sides. So as you lift, weight to the left arm, big circling of that right arm around in space. And then slow, lower, seat back towards the heels. Find that child's pose, glide forwards, arms reach towards the top of the mat. And we keep ourselves in motion. Inhale, glide forwards through that rounded back. Like a wave, exhale back to child's pose. One more time. Inhale, roll forwards, chin to chest. Exhale, shine your heart forward as the hips glide you back to child's. Now let's find tabletop once again. Draw the shoulders over the wrists. Now this time again, we're going to make it ever so slightly different. We're going to slowly lower for a count of 5. So see how your spine allows you a sense of stability as well as fluidity. Lowering for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest there on your belly. So the hands are going to come back wide once again. And this time, let's slide the right hand forwards and the left hand back. And as you peel into that lift, take a gaze over the left shoulder, little twist. Drop back to the earth, swap sides, left hand glides forwards, right hand back. Let's peel into that little lift and twist. Exhale back to the ground. One more each side, really moving at your own pace and moving into the space that your spine allows you. So much space that we can explore. Inhale, lift into that little twist, gazing over right side. Exhale back to the belly. Let's take it back into that child's pose once again. And this time as you arrive in child's, take a little walk of the hands over towards the right. And you might pause there, finding what we call a bit of lateral flexion. You might feel this like a peeling open between the ribs. And you can rest there, let your head drop heavy to the ground, or start to add in a little twist. Right arm threads under the left, dropping that right shoulder blade onto the earth. And pause here for a moment, feel the sensations from the spine outwards, breathing in, breathing out. And then slow, let's come back through center, walk the hands to the left. Find that sense of space across the ribs on the right side this time. And find a softening, forehead to the earth, or maybe you're playing with that little add-on twist, left arm threading under the right. Let's pause here for a breath. Inhale. Sensing that natural rotation from your spine on the exhale. And back through center. Let's take our hands back forwards. Next breath in, let's roll back into our tabletop. This time, tuck your toes, lift your hips to the sky. Let's find our first downwards facing dog. So very much like we did in table, have this little pad around between hands and feet and sense your body in motion. We're always slightly moving, everything within us in that sense of motion and space. So have a little pad around, find that bounce into the joints. And then settle. See if you can imagine the hands and feet pressing apart as the head relaxes a little. And let's play with those same beautiful flexion and extension movements in the spine. We're going to start together on our tippy toes. So the next time you breathe in, let's roll forwards. Find that lovely C curve in the back of the body and find a plank, shoulders over the wrists. Now on the exhale, we're going to bend the knees and either you come back to child's pose or graze your knees along the ground and lift right back up to that downwards facing dog. Let's take 2 more of those. And you can imagine here, once again, that natural wave-like motion in the spine, really tapping into that sense of moving a little bit like water. Let's do another one of those. Breathe in, roll forwards. Exhale, lift it back, downwards facing dog. The next time you ripple forwards, let's pause for a moment in this high plank. Keep the toes tucked, but start to drop your hips down to the earth. Let the thighs connect with the ground. This little up dog variation, softly, we roll all the way back to the belly. Nice. Inhale to cobra, peel the heart forward, nice and light through the hands. Exhale, release to either child's pose or downwards facing dog. Let's meet there for a breath. Steady inhale, steady exhale. And then from your downwards facing dog, let's bend the knees and start to walk hands to the feet. So let's find a soft ragdoll at the back of the mat. One of my favorite movements. It's going to bring a little interlace between the fingers and cup hold of the back of your skull. Let the weight of your arms find that lovely release through the top of the spine. Maybe a little sway, a little movement side to side. And then let your hands just drop back to the earth. We're going to roll up super slow. So start to bring your attention into your feet. Spark a bit of aliveness there. And then like a little beam of light traveling up the legs into the tailbone. We start that rippling movement, waving up the spine all the way to stand. As you rise at the hands, just float to the sky. Big stretch up. And as you exhale, let's start with the chin dropping towards the chest. And we're going to reverse that roll down this time. Take your time, feeling bead by bead your spine connect and roll down into that forward fold once again. As you breathe in, let's take a halfway lift, slide your hands up your legs, lengthen through the back body. Exhale, palms to the mat. We're going to walk back forwards. Find a high plank for a breath, strong arms, press the ground away. Straight back into your downwards facing dog, meeting there for a breath in and a breath out. So let's bring our feet a little closer together now. Next time you inhale, right leg's going to sweep up towards the sky. Let your leg feel fired up and strong in space. And as you exhale, big step forwards, right foot in between your hands. See if you can keep the back knee lifted for a moment and just take a little rock forwards and back, easing into the legs. Bricks under the hands here can feel nice. And then when you're ready, back knee is going to soften. We're going to lean into that left hand. And the right arm's going to peel up to the sky. As it does so, right hand is going to catch the back of the neck. See if you can press the nape of your neck into your hand as you spiral open, creating space. Got a lovely little click in my spine then. Now on the exhale, we're going to spiral this right elbow down to the earth. Don't worry if it doesn't touch, but if it does, tap it as far down as it goes. Little rotation. We'll take 2 more of those. So peeling back wide and open. Breathe in. Exhale, twist. Right elbow down towards the earth. Nice. One more time. The spine loves a rotation. Breathing in to lift. Exhale to twist. The next time your elbow lifts, pause. Let's release the hand from the back of the head and sweep your fingers back to the sky. Keeping a little bit of engagement through the legs, can we start to get lighter through the left hand? See if we can pick all the way off the ground. So we're still in a bit of a twist, facing the right side of our mats. Arms are wide and we're going to tip the right hand onto the back leg, peel your left arm, fingers to the sky and come into that beautiful side bend. Feel the space between your ribs and your hip, spine in motion. A breath in here, maybe growing a little taller through the tips of the fingers. And on the exhale, let's guide this left elbow forward across your right thigh. Once you've got that bind or connection, let's bring the palms to press together, rotating your sternum bone, chest all the way around to the right. Now you can stay here. Option to tuck your back toes and float your back knee off the floor, a little bit more fiery in the legs. Can you bring that press from palm to palm as you revolve yourself to the right? Take another breath here. Inhale, steady. Exhale. Slowly, palms find the earth again. Let's step back into plank. And let's move through a vinyasa here. So on the exhale, you can either drop your knees or keep the knees lifted. We slowly lower, strong and smooth. Inhale might be a cobra or up dog. Lift your heart. Back to downwards facing dog. Exhale. Just take a breath here. Reset. Inhale. Exhale. So let's feel all of that on the left. Feet together. Send the left leg up on your inhale breath, firing up your leg in space. Exhale, big step of the foot between your hands. Let's start with the back knee lifted, little rock, forwards and back, easing into the legs. Feel that sensation arriving. And then right knee is going to lower. We're going to lean into that right palm, peel your left arm to the sky. Now, as it lifts, let's cup the back of the head with the left hand this time and lean your head into your hand. Nice. Create some space, leaning back a little more. Let's use that exhale breath for that twist, little tap of left elbow towards the ground. Don't worry if it doesn't reach. Tap as low down as feels good. And then 2 more of those. Slow this down if you like. That wonderful mobilizing movement for the thoracic spine, that middle bit that loves to rotate. We take 1 more lift, 1 more little twist, and then reach the elbow to the sky. This time, release your hand, big sweep of the fingers up. And let's start to grow lighter through that bottom hand, switching on a bit of a squeeze between the thighs, and we're still in our twist, facing the left side of the mat this time. Start to tip, left fingers to the back leg, right arm to the sky. A little bit of extra reach in those top fingers. Take 1 more breath. Just sense that space between your ribs and your hip getting a little bit more expansive. And then as you exhale, we're going to guide this right elbow forwards. Can you hook over your left thigh? Once you've got that placement, start to bring both palms together and revolve your heart to the left. Now you could stay here. You could tuck the back toes, hover that back knee off the earth, and find that 5 through the legs. Couple more breaths. Breathe in. Press into the palms, twist. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale, steady. Exhale, smooth breath. Let's bring the palms back to the ground, stepping back into your high plank. You can choose once again to add in that flow of movement, the vinyasa. You can skip it if you'd prefer. We're going to eventually all meet back in our downwards facing dog. So take a breath, take a pause, inhale, exhale. And then when you're ready, a couple more of those rolls. So we're going to find our tiptoes, start to roll forwards. Maybe now we're a little warmer. These flows feel a little bit easier, a bit more spacious. So sense the shifting sensations in the spine. Bring it forwards, float it back. So listen carefully. Final bit of fire now. We're going to come forwards, back through that roll into plank. Like we did earlier, we're going to start to lower the hips. This time, see if everything can stay off the floor. So hips are still lifted, thighs off the ground. Bring weight to your right toes, right leg. See if you could squeeze your left heel to your bum. Take a breath there. Press into your palms. Can you round and tap your knee to your nose? Good. Step those toes back. Drop the hips, that little modified up dog. Breathe in. And then exhale, press into palms. Bring weight to left leg. Can that right knee hug towards your chest? Step back, modified up dog. Breathe in. Let the hips soften to the earth and roll your way down once again. Let's have a moment to find a cushion on the earth, find the support, have a little shake off of the hips. And then when you're ready, just like we did earlier, right hand slides forwards, left hand slides back. Press into the palm for that little lift and twist, and then roll back to the earth. Left hand slides forwards, right hand back. Take that lift and twist. Exhale back to the ground. We do 1 more each side, adding something on this time. So right hand forwards, left hand back. Press into your palms, lift and twist. So listen carefully. We're going to start to roll over onto that right leg, left foot steps behind us. So you're going to be sat on the ground with your right leg extended, left knee bent. And we're going to press into that right hand, little modified wild thing. Reach up to the sky. Exhale, hips to the earth. Take 1 more of those. Feel that spine in motion. Lift you up. Big breath in. Exhale, slow, peel back down. Let's roll back to our bellies. Take your time. Have a little wiggle between the hips there. Reset. And then once again, this time the left hand forwards, right arm back. Let's feel that the other side. So we're going to lift into that twist, gaze over the right shoulder. This time rolling towards your left. Right foot steps behind you. And we're going to come into that straight leg position, left leg straight this time. Press into your left palm. Let's rise off the earth. Inhale for your wild thing. Exhale, hips to ground. 1 more time. Inhale, rise. Press the earth away. Exhale, lower. Let's roll back onto our bellies. Momentary pause there. And then a child's pose. Let's come back onto our heels. Melt the arms forwards. Maybe this time the hands want to come a little wider apart. You're welcome to bring the knees together, arms behind you. And sense your spine in motion, a little pulse of aliveness from within as we start to shift that energy around. Let's start to slow the breath a little and walk your hands in towards you. We're going to close here in a seat, so find somewhere that you can soften. You're so welcome to sit on something if you'd like to elevate your spine a little. And feel how you're still in motion, just this tiny little pulse from within, a little sway side to side perhaps. And see how that short but sweet 20-minute movement has made you feel. How do you feel now at the end? And the next breath you take, be really full. Fill up from the bottom of your lungs. Maybe take a little sigh. And then slide a hand onto your heart and a hand onto your belly. And give yourself a big thank you for finding space for movement with breath, for nourishment. Thank your body today. And a big thank you from me to you for joining me. I hope to see you again soon for practice. Thank you so much.